Stories or stats? What is going to get your donors to give? What is going to keep them? What is going to make them care about your organization and what you are doing? Let's talk about it. So I wish I had a dollar for every time I have heard someone say that you just need stories or you just need to focus on those numbers. If anybody tells you any of these things, they are wrong. They are completely wildly incorrect. You need both, and I'm going to tell you why. So first, we'll start with just your testimonials, right? Those are your reviews. They're the stories that people have that show the impact of your organization. This is the human side of it, right? And it doesn't even have to be the people that you're working with. It is also like your volunteers, different people that are still working with you. Your board members, right? All these people, these stakeholders that have a part in your organization, you can get stories from all of them, and all of them are really, really important. But first, what it takes is having a relationship with these people, right? And this is something that you should have anyway, is you want to have that partnership, a collaboration with the community that you are serving so that you're able to get these stories, so that you're able to get this information. This is like the qualitative information, right? This is showing the quality of your work, how it's impacting others, and really showing that people appreciate what you're doing. And it's also actually impacting their lives. And we're going to be saying impact a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That word is going to keep coming back. But the also like great thing about this is not just giving donors like these stories and these little things that pull at their heartstrings, but it also tells you whether or not what you're doing is working, whether or not your mission is actually having the effect that you want it to have. If it's not, like, this is where we can go to the drawing board and kind of rework our mission, rework our strategy, and figure out what it is that we need to change, what it is that we need to fix. If we need to start looking at things a little differently, it's also going to give you that information. And that in itself is data all on its own, right? But that's just those testimonials. And then we talk numbers. Numbers are also really important because they are these measured things that can show that you are having a success, that show that your strategies are working, that show that your mission is working, right? Especially when we are maybe trying to expand and grow, having set metrics that you want to meet can really, really, really help and are much, much easier to track if you have numbers, if you have data, if you know how many meals a day that you are serving, if you know how much clothing you're taking in, right? If you know how many people graduate from the program that you have set up. All of these things are really, really important. And these numbers are also ways to show success. They, again, just help you track your progress, and they're showing metrics that are really, really easy to keep track of. But the thing is, you need both, right? Donors are really often drawn to stories. Those individual donors, large funders, they are going to get pulled in by those stories. When their heart is like those little heartstrings are being pulled, they're going to love that, right? They want to have that impact. They want to be a part of that story. They want to be part of what you're doing. You want them to feel it, right? You want to pull in that emotional side, and you want to make sure that they're connected to your organization emotionally as well. However, especially when it comes to large donors, they tend to justify the amount that they're giving with those numbers. So while they get pulled in with those stories, they're justifying things with the data. And so being able to give them those numbers, being able to show them the impact that you're having, being able to show that you're tracking things and making sure that you're having success in your mission, you're not just kind of doing things haphazardly. And you know exactly how you're affecting people, and you know exactly those numbers and can show them those numbers, right? That just keeps them, and it holds them, and it pulls them in, because if you can't show them those numbers, they may not be able to continue justifying giving you the money, right? They're like, what is our money doing? Yet after a while, those stories start to sound the same. They're all a little different, which is another reason you probably want to diversify your stories and your testimonials and the different things that people are talking about. But at the same time, if all they're getting is stories and they're not seeing any kind of numbers, if they're not seeing you being strategic about how you're either growing your organization or making sure that your impact is having the impact that you say it's having. Why are they going to keep giving to you? Why are people going to keep showing up? What is going to make them stay? The biggest thing, you're not choosing, right? We're not choosing between those stories and the numbers. We're not choosing between stories and the data. We are integrating them. And I know a lot of people call it like data storytelling, but those are two different things in some ways, right? Because you want to be able to have just that human side without the numbers. You want to show the human, the person, the human being inside those numbers, right? We don't want to just say we serve like 10 people a day. We want to say, like, Mary comes in with her 3 children and what it does for her and what that says. But we want to show that in conjunction with these numbers. We want to say, hey, let's introduce you to one of those 10 people, right? Let's show how we're exactly impacting this one person and their story and the amazing things happening because of our work, right? And why Mary maybe wants to come back. I see so many organizations that are able to connect with their community that they come back and volunteer. Like, even while they're still accessing the services and programs of that, they care so much and has impacted them so deeply that they want to make sure that others can feel the same. And they come back and volunteer. You can really just build your community and talk to people and have these stories on top of these numbers. Your ability to get donors to stay and to give is going to be that much more impactful and that much more powerful. It's so important to use both. I can't even stress that enough. Both, right? We're not doing either or, we're doing both.